Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here with Tiger Tank 12. However you don't call me, I don't really care, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today I wanted to make a video and explain to you guys what my relationship to wargaming is like. Ignore that defeat in my WZ 111. But today we're going to be playing the Emil 2. This is going to be live commentary gameplay, and I'm going to be talking about my current relationship to wargaming and why I am kind of hypercritical of that company as of late. The last, let's say, 2 years, I have released quite a few videos that were quite strongly opinionated towards certain topics, and most of the time they were quite negative towards wargaming, even with, let's say, some explicit language. But it's not just, to get the views and to be like the guy on YouTube that is constantly hating on everything. That's not my idea. That's not what I'm trying to do behind, all of the videos. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to point out the good and the bad that wargaming have been doing. And the thing is just that my perspective on all these things is quite literally very subjective, and if you dislike what I say, it's because you have a different opinion. That's completely okay. But I think my opinion is founded on the basis that I've loved this game for 10 years. I've played this game for a very long time. I've enjoyed basically everything that it had to offer, and I've been there for the very good things and for the very bad things, and I've seen everything. And that's why I think that I can form an opinion based on this game and the direction that wargaming is currently headed towards. And that's why also the video that I've just released, where I was hypercritical of the April Fool's event, was not just because of the lack of any kind of special feature on April Fools, which is traditionally something that companies have decided to do, to add something cool into it. And it was one of those things that was never really about, monetizing anything. Especially in War Thunder and World of Tanks, these April Fools events were always cool things to look forward to, and it was never really about having an event that would last for, let's say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks and be a massive grindfest. That was never something that I was interested in. And it goes way deeper. It isn't about the event that it's just that I'm like a huge April Fool's fan, but no, it's about the deeper aspect that if you look at that clearly and you think about it a bit more deeply, you notice that certainly wargaming haven't really put as much effort into that event as they have in other events. And the thing is just, April Fool's always was this hearted, lovely, crafted event where it wasn't about promoting something, it wasn't about money, it wasn't about earning the most amount of anything. It was about having something that the developers were passionate about, that we as gamers could be passionate about, and it was just a bit of lighthearted fun. And it always had soul, it always had, a core belief and fun. And the issue is just that with, this skin, everything just felt very cheap. It just felt like, okay, they don't really care about that anymore. And the thing is, if they don't really care about that anymore, but they are still they feel obligated to deliver something, as they have shown, they kind of feel obligated to deliver April Fools because they still brought something, but it was just not very exciting, right? I don't think anyone found the April Fools exciting in any way, shape, or form. And the thing is just that, well, it seems to me that they have lost a few of their ways. They've lost the idea behind the events that they have been so good at for the recent years, and what have really, kept the player base interested in the game, because these events have basically kept the entire player base interested in different kind of mechanics, different kind of ideas, and these things, you know, if they are just completely gone from the game, we're just left with the hull of World of Tanks and every imaginable way of making money. And that's what I've noticed. The last couple of months, years, I've just noticed a massive influx in, if you're checking the World of Tanks website, if you're checking into World of Tanks yourself, you're getting massive amounts of, you know, coupons and everything. And I think it's, you know, it's great to have coupons and to have the opportunity to have coupons and to have something for a bit cheaper. And all of those things are great. But the thing is how they are trying as desperately as they have been trying the last 2 years of gaining money, of getting anything, and how they have at the same time ignored our cries for certain things, like premium shell rebalancing, like, you know, matchmaking, like artillery, switching all of those things. Now they have heard certain things. Premium shells, they talked about them. They talked about they want to rebalance them. But what are we getting now at the moment? We are getting not premium shell rebalancing. We are currently getting high explosive shell rebalancing, which absolutely nobody asked for, because it was the only way that we as players, which do not spend massive amounts of money, like obviously I'm not counted in that category because I've spent massive amounts of money in World of Tanks, were able to utilize high explosive, you know, to fight against certain tanks that you could only fight against with APCR heat. And that thing is just, you know, by denouncing that, Wargaming is openly showing us that they do not give a shit about us players. And that's just something that they have been driving the last few years, or the last few months at least. And I do not understand why. This game doesn't look like in its immediate state to be dying in the sense of, you know, not having any more players, but they are certainly worried about gaining new players. That you can see by their massive amounts of campaigns towards getting new players into the game with influencers. And the thing is just the obvious problems that they have with the game, they just cannot acknowledge them. New players getting into the game, they might get like massive amounts of goodies and all that kind of stuff. That might just keep you around for a little bit, but the thing is, if the game itself is a massive pile of frustrating hot garbage because at lower tiers you're getting your head bashed in from any kind of player, or by, you know, from players that are frustrated at tier 8 going down to tier 2 and 3, bashing these new players in, there is no protection for these new players. These new players come into the game, and it's not like there's a lack of free-to-play games. That's certainly no longer the case. Unfortunately, I just got team tanked by the TVP and WZ111 over there, but still, 4,000 damage, 6k in total. That's a pretty damn good game. Yeah, there's an abundance of free-to-play games out there. Like, what do these players see? Yeah, World of Tanks, I've played it a couple of rounds. I played it maybe 100 games. I've been demolished. I've been nuked. I don't know how to play the game. There are new players that are, you know, bad, just like me. But there are also like super high-tiered players that are playing low tiers because it's fun to trample on the new kids. And these players, you know, are running around in Panzer IIJs. All of those super overpowered tier 2 premium tanks. The new players have no idea how to face them. They get wrecked. They get shit-faced. And obviously, in the end, what ends up happening is that these players will quit. They don't care. Why should they play a game where they are just getting frustrated in the very first 100 games? There are only a very limited amount of players, new players, that come into the game that really like the setting, that can deal with the frustration factor, and that are easy and able to, you know, keep on playing the game. Look at this. They're telling me every single time I log in, I have a coupon, my coupon is about to expire, and they want me to spend money on the game. They are really, really desperate, and I just cannot stand that Wargaming have turned into this massive begging company that is currently constantly just promoting everything, and I think there is a limit to all the things that are around. And that's just one of the main reasons why I'm kind of frustrated with this game and I'm critical of all of the advances. One of the other things that I'm just going to point out real fast, because it's really, really important. They announced in December or in November that they were going to get rid of tank rewards. And they said in early 2021, tank rewards will make a comeback. We have not heard of tank rewards since. They have taken tank rewards out of the game, and I do not think that they are going to be reintroducing tank rewards into the game at any stage or any moment notice. I do not think that they will be returning that. I have not forgotten Wargaming. I remember that because tank rewards was one of those things that was really great for new players and all players alike, because you were able to get tier 6 vehicles, tier 6 premium tanks by just playing the game, not having to spend any money, and they noticed that, well, the people aren't spending any money, we have to get rid of it, and thus they introduced the Battle Pass. Now the Battle Pass, on the other hand, isn't as bad as I think a lot of people propagate, and I think the Battle Pass in the free state, by just playing the game, is a nice feature. If you wanna, if you enjoy playing World of Tanks, you pay a little bit extra. I know the Battle Pass is a bit expensive, especially considering, that it's just for a season. But still, you get a lot of things. You get all of these goodies, right? And at the end, if you get all the tokens, you're going to be able to get these vehicles. But there is another problem with these vehicles. The Kunzepanzer, the Scharfgewehr 4, the Object 777, all of these vehicles right here, right? All of these vehicles were available by just playing Frontlines. And you did not have to pay to be able to play Frontlines. The thing is with these vehicles, if you want to get the Tank Destroyer, the K91 PT, you want to get the Kunzepanzer in this season, well, you're not going to be able to do that, because with your standard account, if you do not have premium, if you do not have the premium Battle Pass, you're not going to be able to gain enough of these tokens to be able to unlock them. And we do not know if there's another Battle Pass coming in with the same system or not. So that is another thing that I really, really dislike, because it just goes deeper into the area of, if you're a paying customer, you're going to be benefiting a lot more. But if you're not a paying customer, if you are a free-to-play player, you're basically here for free, and we don't give a shit about you. These free-to-play players have made this game. These free-to-play players are the foundation of every free-to-play game. They are the foundation. They are the ones that we are wrecking day after day in World of Tanks with our premium tanks. They are the ones that are still coming back. They should be getting the medal. They should be getting the best stuff, because the paying players are absolutely in the advantage if you think about it. And that's why I have such a complicated relationship with Wargaming, because all of these things are massive issues. There are massive issues behind this game, and the company itself have kind of started to shut off these ideas and things to fix them. They are bringing new problems into the game to further increase the spending, to make people even more upset with the high explosive changes, the Crew 2.0 changes. These things cannot be standard, and they are going to be a huge problem for this game running into the near future. So hopefully you guys understand why I'm being so critical and why I make these videos. I'm not just crying out because I want to be annoying, I want to be a little brat. I want to talk about these things. I want to discuss them with Wargaming. I want to talk about all of the issues, because I really love this game. I've loved this game for 10 years, and slowly but surely I can see it going into a very dark area where it might just be going to die. Because if they go through with Crew 2.0, if they go through with high explosive changes, I think a lot of people will jump ship. I think a lot of people will just stop playing World of Tanks, because, well, I couldn't be bothered myself. Even I couldn't be bothered with the changes, with the high explosive changes. Just imagine you're playing the Sheridan and you just get like 150 damage for a clear hit with high explosive shells. That just sucks. Sorry, that sucks. If they really wanted to change something with the high explosive shells, well, they should have probably started with the premium shells first, and then they would have had to deal with certain super heavy tanks to maybe add the armor to these areas where the high explosive shells are just easily going through, and increase the chance of it maybe not going through. But completely abolishing the high explosive shell damage to towards the vehicle is a ridiculous notion, and it's typical of wargaming to bring something like this into the game. So hopefully you guys see the point. I see you on the next video. Until then, have a good one. Peace out.